The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
The Mr. Skin Podcast. Welcome, everyone, to the Mr. Skin Podcast, sponsored by Streamate.com, the global leader in live streaming, with the hottest porn stars and amateurs broadcasting live directly from their bedroom to yours. Streammate creates a totally unique and intimate experience where you get to direct the show however you want. With an endless variety of performers, you're sure to find your perfect match on Streammate.com. The question is, are you ready? I am so amped because our last few shows have just been blowing my mind. And I know today you have something just as amazing for me. So hit me with it, baby.
Well, you know what? I've been trying to get... We always do at the end of the year the top 10 nude scenes of the year, which we will be doing at MrSkin.com and in the podcast. But the thing that I like to do every year is kind of give you a mid-season report as to what has been the best so far, because you kind of forget all the great nudity, especially in the first couple of months of the year. And I wanted to do it at immediately midway point of the year, and then we had the Game of Thrones theme, and we had the bikini promotion at our website. So it was either do it now or we're just going to have to wait till the end of the year, and I didn't want to do that. So what I want to do today
do it now, baby.
And it's a great list. 2017 has been so far an amazing year, as usual, for movies and television. It's the top 10 nude scenes so far in 2017, and some of these will be in our year-end list. Some of them won't, but these are all great nude scenes. It's kind of a recap, and I wanted to go over that with you for today's show. And soon we'll get back to our normal programming, but I think people really like these lists, and I love putting them together. We had a lot of fun with this, and I got to tell you, there were some ones that we were like fighting. I mean, we were like going back and forth on these. Like, there were a number of nude scenes that were from this year that didn't make the list, like Tatiana Maslany, the girl from Orphan Black, had a great sex scene that didn't make our list. Dakota Johnson in 50 Shades Darker didn't even make our top 10 list. I know, it's crazy. Jennifer Lawrence had a scene in Passengers that didn't make the list. So that gives you an idea. Those didn't even make our top 10 list.
This is going to be a damn good list then.
Yeah,
this is going to be a damn good list.
Yeah, so this is the real deal. And let me start and just kind of go down the list and get your comments. Some of this stuff you'll remember, some maybe not, but I'll kind of try to fill you in, Andrea, if I can. So
fill me in, Skin. Let's start with number 10.
Yeah, so number 10 of the best nude scenes so far in 2017 is Mary Elizabeth Winstead in Fargo. Now,
right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Baby.
She's kind of a cult actress. She's best known for being in that Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She plays the female lead, Ramona Flowers, but I remember she was in this is what's interesting. She was in the Die Hard movies with Bruce Willis's daughter in the last.
I was like, what character was she?
Well,
like,
no, she was a kid. Yeah, she was in the last couple seasons, or the last two Die Hard movies. She was his daughter, and I got to tell you, FX is becoming I love Fargo. I've loved all the Fargo shows, but they've been doing amazing with nudity. You know, about a month ago, we talked about that Snowfall. We've loved Snowfall, about the crack cocaine and plenty of crack in that. And we loved it. But but FX overall has just been awesome. So it makes sense that number 10 on my best nude scenes so far this year is Mary Elizabeth Winstead getting out of the tub and giving us one of the great butt shots. This will definitely be in contention for best butt in my Anatomy
100%.
Awards. What a great scene, and the guys in the room is just sexy. And the fact that this is on FX, which has commercials, makes it that much hotter and cooler and from a great show. So number 10, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in Fargo.
I will tell you, Skin, us discussing her ass actually made me start watching Fargo again.
Oh, okay.
That's how good this ass is. You know what I mean? To get me back watching a show that I had kind of like just stopped watching.
Got it.
I mean, so if people are doubting this, go to MrSkin.com. Check out Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Her booty in the tub. I mean,
yeah.
amazing.
You didn't have to make that noise, but yeah, we love it.
That was just me like exasperating from my lips. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, we love it. Fargo will make you Largo when you see this. So we love it. And
love it.
It's great. So, okay, number 9 of the best nude scenes so far this year. This I'm still in shock from this, and it's just blown me away.
You and me both.
It's hard to shock me, and I've seen so much stuff over the 20 plus years I've been Mr. Skin. But
yeah.
There's a show called American Gods, which we've talked about, and you probably know where I'm going with this. This scene with Yetedi Badaki. Yeah, Yetedi Badaki,
who cares?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It's tough to imagine where I ever see a nude scene like this in the future, but she plays this character that actually sucks up her sex partners into her vagina and
into another dimension.
Yeah, it blasts them off into another spaced out dimension, and
it's like DMT pussy. I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's killer pussy, as we like to say. But and the way they did it, like the first time she was just having sex with a pasty middle aged white dude, and
right?
she's a black actress,
which was already shocking.
Yeah, right. Black actress, completely naked, and
riding him like a donkey, man. Like her legs are spread.
Yeah, and they're having this great sex. She's completely nude, and all of a sudden he starts to just slide into her vagina. They did it like with CGI and some special effects, of course, but I've never seen anything like it.
You don't know what's happening at first.
Yeah, and then she starts swallowing like whole crowds of people into her vagina. And if you haven't, you got to see it's American Gods on the Stars Network. I've talked to you about it. Yeah,
it's epic.
Yeah, it's
epic.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
something else.
It's like something I've never seen before.
It's something else, man.
Yeah, no question. So that's number 9 on our best nude scene so far this year. Number 8 is very interesting. It's Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is if you don't know her, she's a pretty hot redhead. She plays a 1950s housewife in this who wants to get into stand-up comedy, and pretty cool.
That premise is just hilarious, by the way.
What's that?
That premise is hilarious.
Yeah, and it's weird too to see. It's weird too to see in the 1950s to even see someone up on stage, a female, doing stand-up comedy. So
yeah, especially like that kind of Stepford wife.
Yeah, exactly. So, Andrew, so they released this. This is an Amazon show, and like I said, it's weird. She plays a 1950s housewife who wants to get into stand-up comedy, and when no one's like paying attention to her in a nightclub because women shouldn't do stand-up, she just pulls her top down and exposes her breast, and everyone stands up, sits up straight, and like, holy crap, we got to pay attention to this woman. But it's a really cool show. And from Amazon.
Hey, if you're bombing, show the bombs.
That's always what I say. But it's kind of cool too, because she's it's the 1950s, and for a woman to do that is crazy. But yeah, Rachel Brosnahan
crazy.
in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is my 8th best nude scene so far this year. Really cool stuff.
Are those titties real? Because I have no idea.
I
have no idea.
It's from the distance.
They look enhanced to me, but
they look enhanced.
You could just have perfect tits,
yeah, but what I loved about this scene was kind of the whole setting of being a 50s housewife.
I mean, even the dress she's wearing, it's so naughty.
I agree. It's so hot. But anyway, to be determined on that. I'm leaning towards fake, but I've been surprised before.
I'm heavily leaning towards fake.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So this number 8, number 7 on the list of the best nude scenes so far in 2017 is a actress named Valeria Bilello from a show called Sense8.
One of my favorite shows, by the way.
I'm interested to know why you love this so much.
Because, I'm one of these weird hippy-dippy esoteric metaphysical freaks, and I love the fact that it's talking about like shutting off the prefrontal cortex and the interconnectivity of people all over the world through their brains and this like psychic power, because I believe in all that stuff personally. So to me, I'm like, oh my God, there's a show about this. But I love it. They really push the envelope. Even the show Open is very, very different, like guys making out, like it's a very envelope pushing kind of avant-garde show in a way.
Yeah. It's a Netflix show, and you're right. They've had orgies on the show. They've had guys, serious guy sex, transgender stuff, like crazy. But everyone in our office, or anyone that's seen this scene in particular where this Valeria Bolello walks completely naked I'm pretty sure she's an Italian model, so that explains the gorgeousness of her. But if you haven't seen this in the show Sense8, we've gotten a lot of great content, not only at Mr. Skin, but at Mr. Man also. And really good stuff.
I know the gay stuff with the two male actors is literally some of the hottest stuff I've ever seen. And actually one of the kind of subplots of the show is the fact that their friend is always turned on personally. She's also a hot actress, and she gets so turned on watching them hook up. And I'm like, I see why. It's fucking hot, man.
Yeah, it's really good. So Sense8 is a show we love, have gotten great content, and this Valeria Bolello, gorgeous Italian actress, completely nude in one of the scenes. So number 6 on our list, Andrea, is Teresa Palmer in a movie called Berlin Syndrome that came out earlier this year, and it's
all right.
Yeah, it's like a holiday romance. It leads to this obsessive relationship when this Australian photojournalist wakes up one morning in a Berlin apartment and is unable to leave. It's like a crazy thing. So there's this hot girl, and then she meets a dude, and next thing you know, she's like locked up in this apartment forever. And it's a crazy, scary movie. But Teresa Palmer is this Australian actress. She's been naked before at MrSkin.com, and we are huge fans of Teresa Palmer's nips, as you could see.
Yes,
she's like
wonderful.
Yeah, she's on my all niptastic team, and before the real craziness begins with this dude she meets, she has a sex nude scene that is very hot. And our guys here at the office really love this Teresa Palmer in the Berlin Syndrome as our 6th best nude scene so far this year.
You know what I love about her in this scene? The fact that she can arch her back like that. Whenever I've seen actresses, whether it's mainstream or adult, do that back arch while they're on their back, I'm like, how is that even possible?
No, I agree.
Like, it's so hot when they like are writhing in pleasure, and it's just like, so banging. Love it.
I agree too. And anyway, we're again big fans, and that came in at the number 6. So now we're down to the 5 best nude scenes so far this year, and this one I could tell you would have even been higher, but I'll tell you why. It got a minor penalty from me, but it's still, I love it. It's our friend Christina Ricci in Amazon's Z, The Beginning of Everything, and it's in this show from Amazon. It came out earlier this year. She plays Zelda Fitzgerald. She's like, the wild flapper wife of the Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So everything in this movie is set like in the 1920s, and from that era. And there's a scene where she comes out. There's a party. And she just, like the real Zelda, who I guess was very crazy, in this 1920s jazz age, decadent, anything goes era. A party with all these people in tuxedos, guys, girls. She comes out, opens a door to the party, and is standing there in just heels and a little thing in her hair, and that's it. And it is so freaking hot.
Yeah, that look on her face of like, what do you think, everyone? Isn't it amazing?
And she's in, heels. What do you call that thing on the top of her head? I don't know, like a
headband. I don't know.
Whatever. But
who cares?
You want to feel old? Feel old? Christina Ricci is now 37 years old. How crazy is that?
That makes no sense to me.
I know. Yeah. But here's the thing. We got wind, and we were a little bummed, even though now she is completely nude, bush, heels,
she is
sexy as hell. But we found out that she's wearing a merkin, which So if that was her real bush, she would have won Best Nude Scene so far this year without question. But
absolutely.
But she is wearing a merkin. But hey, the boobies are hers, the butt, the legs, everything else, and it is sexy as hell. Her standing at the door completely
with
naked.
her arms all up like that.
I might have to do like a
doorway nudity.
No, like a playlist of nude standing at a door, like Margot Robbie and Wolf of Wall Street. Like I could. That would be a funny CP. Make a note to the guys that we should send.
I'm with
to
you
get a
because
playlist. Door scores, we'll call it.
Yes, because as a woman, I've done that. The reveal through the door.
Oh, really?
And it's so fucking hot. It's so empowering.
Can we add that to the playlist somehow?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll shoot you some selfies.
Yeah.
And it's like when your arms are up like that, you just feel like Wonder Woman. Like, I don't know. There's something so very about doing that personally. So when I see it, I recognize that kind of overly sexual, powerful kind of characteristic in the actresses, and so I'm drawn to doorway nudity.
Yeah, it's really cool. But like
baby.
I said, I would have put this at number. It's so great, and Christina Ricci looks so good, and her boobs, which are real, look so great. I would have put this number 1, but because of the merkin, there was a little penalization, but still very, very hot. Yeah. So that's number 5 on the list. All right, Andrea, let's talk about our sponsor for today. There are some pretty incredible cam girls on their site, aren't there?
Yes, absolutely. So Streamate is a little different than most other campsites. The site is totally free, which means you can talk with all the beautiful models live with high quality video without paying a dime. There are thousands of models broadcasting at any point in time, including porn stars like Diamond Jackson, Gina Lynn, Amy Fisher, Ashton Blake, and amateur hotties like Emma Lovett, Cassidy Nicole, and so many more. Streamate partners with some of the biggest adult sites out there. So if you have a favorite performer, chances are you may be able to find her for a personal session. We know you guys want to check out some of the best shows in camming. So head over to Streamate.com right now.
Yeah, and Andrew, by the way, the Mount Rushmore of cams, Streamate is right up there. It's camming, as we've talked about before, it's huge. It's where the traffic's going, business is going. It's a win-win in the industry for both the models and the businesses. But Streamate is one of the biggest and best. And again, always cool to get sponsors like someone the size of Streamate taking interest in the Mr. Skin podcast. So definitely go check it out. I'm a big fan. They've been around, and they are players, no question about it. So number 4 on the greatest or the best nude scenes so far this year. Number 4 is Kristen Stewart in Personal Shopper. She's a huge star. We knew,
yes, she is.
We knew about this. It's like a weird horror movie set in the Paris fashion scene, but we knew from Skin Scouts that were at the what do you call it? One of the film festivals.
One of those.
Yeah, I can't remember which ones. So they were reporting to us, hey, Kristen Stewart's going to be naked in Personal Shopper. And it was awesome. She's putting on clothes in a closet, and she has this crazy leather S&M harness. So kind of, I liked it too, because it's like, she's wearing this leather harness and her boobs
it's
are
like a titty cage, man. It's like a cage for the titties. It's like bondage, BDSM, just like totally surrounding them. It's so hot.
Yeah,
I don't even find her attractive, and I find this hot.
Yeah, it is, and it's really cool. And she's done some nudity in the past. I mean, remember that On the Road, the Jack Kerouac
yes, isn't
movie,
she jacking him off or something?
She's jacking off. She's riding ski poles. She's nude in the front with 2 guys, and she's doing the ski poles, jerking them off, and she was topless. She did a little lap dance to Tony Soprano and Welcome to the Rileys. But
that's right.
Yeah, but anyway, this Kristen Stewart topless and Personal Shopper is a really hot scene. She's got a, obviously with Twilight and all that, has had a very successful career, pretty well known, and our 4th best nude scene of 2017. So check that out, Kristen Stewart and Personal Shopper. So now we're down to the final 3, and I remember when I talked to you about this, you went crazy,
ape shit.
Yes, rightly so. And it's a movie called Below Her Mouth, and it's Natalie
God, is
Krill.
It Below Her Mouth, man?
Yeah, right. And I remember the best way to describe this. There was a movie a few years ago called Blue is the Warmest Color. And it was at the Cannes Film Festival with Lea Seydoux and Adele Exarchopoulos. And when people ask me, what's the greatest lesbian scene of all time, I bring up Blue is the Warmest Color. Because
it's amazing.
It should be pink is the warmest color in that case, but it is blue is the warmest color. To
Which
me,
would be very true.
The 9-minute
nice and warm.
NC-17 Lea Seydoux, Adele Exarchopoulos, to me is still the greatest lesbian scene of all time. But in
the length and everything. Yeah.
But in 2017, one that'll definitely make my top 10 is the Natalie Krill lesbian scene in this movie, and this is a Canadian movie, and the other actress is named Erica Linder that she has the lesbian scene with. So for nudity wise, I chose this scene where she is masturbating with the
water spout from the bathtub.
The water spout, which to me I thought is such a powerful picture and just gives you a taste, no pun intended, of how great the nudity is in this. But Natalie Krill's gorgeous. This scene is what I chose for the scene. I didn't want to do multiple scenes from the same movie, but the lesbian scene that those two girls have in that movie,
A+.
Oh my God, it's definitely a top 10 of all time. Natalie Krill and Erica Linder. So
and it hits all of those qualities that you look for so hard: the sensuality, the lighting, the rawness, the realness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm with you, babe.
Yeah, and we just absolutely love this movie. It's going to get lots of Anatomy Awards, and if you don't know about it, and probably don't, because it's like a kind of an art house movie. It's called Below Her Mouth. It's a Canadian movie. Check it out. We loved it when it came out. When I showed you this earlier in the year, you went nuts, and it's number 3 on our list.
Is this available in the States? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's available now. Yes.
Okay,
VOD,
cool.
So we have it, and it's all over Mr. Skin. So Natalie Krill and Below Her Mouth, masturbating with the water from the bathtub. My third best nude scene so far this year. So
there's very few movies or TV shows that we talk about on these lists that we do that I ever am like, oh, I want to watch that movie, but I just want to look at the clips that you have on your website. But because this is like so hot, I actually want to see the movie. Like, why are they doing all this? You and the
hubby should watch this movie. I think only good things could happen if you guys watch it together.
We might get pregnant if we watch this together.
Well, let's not have that happen. We got podcasts to do. So anyway, all right. So number 2 on my best nude scenes of the year. I absolutely love this. It's so hot. Yeah. It's Lily James in a movie called The Exception. Now, this is another one where we had word in advance from Film Fest guys that she was going to be naked, but they didn't explain how good she was going to look naked. And when this finally came out earlier this year, we were so happy at MrSkin.com. So Lily James, she became a star as Lady Rose on Downton Abbey. And
that's right. That's the only way I know
her. That's what most people know her from. But then she did, I think, pretty much the same year she got on Downton Abbey, she was Cinderella in the movie version, Disney's live action Cinderella. So, that version, she was Cinderella. So she's become pretty popular. So it was much to our surprise when she showed her great pumpkin coaches in the Exception, because we were not prepared for the greatness. And you're only looking at the boob shot. I should have also put it when she's turned around. Her butt is hourglass awesomeness, and it's just such a great nude scene. It was a great surprise, something we weren't we knew it was coming, but we didn't know it'd be this good. Lily James in The Exception, Cinderella, Lady Rose from Downton Abbey. Check it out. It's awesome. It's our second best nude scene of the year.
This I love because of how diametric it is to her previous roles. Prim and Proper, Downton Abbey, an Enchantress, Cinderella, Disney star too. Here I am. Check out my hourglass body, banging tits, sweet ass. It's like,
oh yeah, it's great.
I love it when that happens. It's like, surprise, I'm not a character actress. I'm a bad little girl.
Yeah, I hear you. So Lily James in The Exception, definitely check it out. I love this nude scene.
Me too.
Love it, love it, love it. But there was
She's
one
so beautiful too.
Yeah, she is. She's a gorgeous actress. But there's one I actually loved more, and I think it's more because, to me, she's more famous. To me personally, I'm not a Downton Abbey person, but also because
I think most guys aren't Downton Abbey people. I've never. I mean, it's pretty slow, boring. It's like a soap opera set back in the day. So I don't know why any guy would be watching that show.
Yeah, I respect Lily James, but I wasn't like a fan of Downton Abbey. But one girl that not only am I a fan of, but also I got inundated or skin inundated over the last 5 years from people asking me on radio shows or just emails to customer service here. When is Alison Brie ever going to do a nude scene? Now, we know her from the television show Community. You know her from Peter Campbell's wife on Mad Men. But she was, I got to say, like, she's right up there, top 10 all time of people
want to know, man.
People want to know. So then we found out about this Netflix show Glow, which is the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, and the about the LA in LA, the wrestling, female wrestling scene in LA in the 1980s. And number one, this is a really cool show if you haven't seen it. And the other thing we got tipped off was in the very first episode, Alison Brie is going to be making her nude debut. And lo and behold, there she was in the locker room, nice 80s locker room. And she didn't disappoint. She also has a sex scene in this, but I love the locker room scene because you get a great view of her incredible body. And this was one that we've been hoping for. Always great when an actress makes her nude debut, but it was a little more special because it's Alison Brie, the TV star from Community and Mad Men.
So wanted, and there's something about, and I don't know if this is just me, something about that old style of 80s panties that is like hot when it's on a hot chick.
Well, also you feel you also feel like you're spying on her in the locker room when they do this scene. There's so many elements of why I love this. Yeah, and the fact that it's no question. There was a funny article. I read it a couple weeks ago where Alison Brie was talking about. Oh yes, we talked about it. Well, she was saying how because the way things were cut in the 80s, so she has to wear these garments, like what they worked out and danced in and would wrestle in and
performed
stuff.
And
they were really high cut. And the problem was, like, you could easily show a caged monkey, with the pubes sticking out the side. So she had to be really careful how she shaved because of the cut of the 80s. But then I was asking you, I think, how did 80s ladies wear those? Because they had big, thick bushes. Maybe they tucked it in. I don't know. Or maybe they wore nylons, I think you told me, right?
They did wear a lot of nylons under. I think that must have been when waxing became popular. It had to have been. That was probably the cut and the fashion probably was the catalyst for waxing. It might have been. Like, if we do the history of pubic hair, I think we might have tapped into something here. But also, I'm kind of thinking back, the fabric of leotards and bathing suits was so thick, that tight lycra. If there was a bush that might have a springy pop out effect, it was flattened right down.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering that because I was looking at pictures of her just doing aerobics or working out from the show, and I'm like, wow, that cut is kind of weird. But then I was thinking, how did 80s bushes fit in that? But you're right, they were probably through nylons or whatever.
Non-stretch lycra outfits. I just remember that fabric, and I remember my bathing suits in the 80s being this really not like anything it is today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. But anyway, Alison Brie and Glow, my favorite nude scene so far of 2017. And Andrew, we definitely will be in December doing the top 10 nude scenes of the year, and I'm sure this will be high up on the list. I'm very hopeful that this will get knocked from the number one spot. But I know a lot of these will be in the end, but I'm never halfway through the year. There's no way there's going to be even better nude scenes that crack, no pun intended, the top 10. So the year-end list will be awesome. And again, and I'm not complaining, but so much nudity to get through. And there aren't bad years for nudity anymore because there's so many television shows and places that actors could get naked that they weren't in the past. So for what I do for a living, these lists are spectacular, and they're only going to get better.
And I love these lists, too, because they're living... Yeah, they're like living, breathing lists. They're always evolving.
Yeah, no, for sure. So anyway, so I wanted to get this done, our top 10 nude scenes of the year. Thank you so much, Andrea.
My pleasure.
I'm excited. We got lots of great stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, but we had to get this done or we get too far into the year. So these are the top 10 nude scenes so far in 2017.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.